The summer has finished and it's now time for a roundup of all the news and transfers for animals in UK zoos. At Folly Farm, these guys moved in and they've also welcomed a new two-toed sloth called Button from Dudley Zoo as part of the breeding programme. Colchester went international and brought in a pileated gibbon from Zurich. They also had some sad news with the deaths of Anushka and Freddie. At Newquay Zoo, a crowned lemur was born, and their sister zoo Paynton have had a trio of Red River hogs, along with the arrival of a two-toed sloth from Edinburgh. They've also moved their mountain zebras to a brand new home as part of their major redevelopment project. This will simulate their natural environment a lot better with dry, stony terrain, helping them naturally wear down their hooves, which was an issue they had with the soft grass of their previous enclosure. In place of the old zebra home, workers commenced on a new purpose-built baboon enclosure based on 30 years research into the Hamadryas baboons. At Africa Alive, 2 Vassa parrot chicks were born in June, and a bat-eared fox arrived from Paris. At Big Cat Sanctuary, 2 snow leopards were born, which is great news for the species with only around 4,000 to 6,000 left in the wild. They also welcomed another of the largest species of tiger from Africa Alive, as well as saying bye to Inca the black jaguar, who's off to Chester Zoo. She was born at the sanctuary in 2021 and will now join the male jaguar at Chester. About 10% of wild jaguars are black due to a genetic mutation, and they actually have the strongest bite out of all the big cats. Chester have also welcomed 40 red-bellied piranhas and celebrated a number of births, including a Sulawesi crested macaque in June, one of these in July, 2 of the largest lizard in the world in June, and an okapi in July, which are one of the least known and understood species on the planet. And we're still not done. They also became the first in Europe to successfully breed a stonefly, 28 years after they'd been declared extinct. A few populations were found here. They also had a Bornean orangutan birth, one of the 3 species of orangutan, all of which are considered critically endangered. Banham Zoo have a new tamarin from Drayton Manor, and the birth of a black-headed spider monkey in July. They also had Shen join them from Big Cat Sanctuary in July, but sadly lost Enif in June. The home of all 4 great apes has had a baby vicuna and twin emperor tamarins. Their 2 snow leopards have moved in together, and Jambo the hairless chimp has turned 41. It's because they have alopecia. They also announced the deaths of 2 of their chimps, William and Gennet, and have started a new first-of-its-kind hologram project to raise awareness for critically endangered species. London Zoo had a fairly uneventful summer, but they did have 17 new chicks, 5 of which are Socorro doves, which are extinct in the wild. Their sister zoo Whipsnade has a bit more happening, with twin red pandas in June, a red-crowned crane chick in July, and this golden fella in August, whose fur sadly will fade to black over the coming months. A Grevy zebra was also born in July, which is the most threatened species of zebra, with less than 2,500 in the wild. Longleat had some sea lion pups to join you on your safari, and a pair of rhesus macaque twins. They brought in a new European wolf to head up a new wolf pack with female Meg, and their Amma tiger is left to start a new life at Blackpool. They've got a really nice new enclosure there. Along with their new tiger, Blackpool have had a pair of red pandas and also the birth of a Bornean orangutan, their first in 20 years. The zoo built around a castle has had the 3rd two-toed sloth of the video and have welcomed a male Asiatic lion, which compared to an African lion are smaller and look a bit more weathered. They also had a scare when 2 Coahulan box turtles were stolen from the reptile house in July. They were found a few days later near a playground 3 miles away and were safely returned home. Welsh Mountain Zoo have had 3 new penguin chicks called Ketchup, Mustard and Custard, and a new Margay kitten called Goose. Paradise Wildlife Park expanded their capybara squad with 3 new pups in June and said bye to Little Red, who's off to start a new life at Marwell Zoo. Along with the red panda, Marwell have added bush dogs to their lineup, who came from Yorkshire Wildlife Park in August. They've also had a triplet of Red River hogs, are the 2nd zoo of the video to have a Grevy zebra birth, and now have a baby African wild ass, one of the rarest mammals on earth, with only several hundred left in the wild. Some more sea lion pups were born at Yorkshire Wildlife Park, along with an Amma leopard in June, another one of the rarest animals on earth, with only around 100 left in the wild. They also have 2 cheetahs moving into a newly developed cheetah territory, which will be one of the largest in Europe. Female cheetahs are solitary, whereas males will live in groups, and the enclosure reflects this by separating them, each having their own home and grassland area. Dartmoor Zoo brought in 6 of these guys, 1 from Folly Farm and 5 from Exmoor, along with a binturong in July. Sad news at Edinburgh as they announced that their giant pandas will be returning home in December after a 12-year stint on loan. China actually own all the pandas in captivity around the world and will loan them out for around 10 to 15 years, charging up to $1 million a year. They'll be replacing the pandas with a new endangered species that they'll be announcing next year. Woburn Safari Park have a new species, Egyptian tortoises, the Northern Hemisphere's smallest tortoise species. There's a couple new penguin chicks and 5 new baby meerkats. Cotswold Wildlife Park have had a lot of births, including twin cotton-tot tamarins, several prairie dogs, a dik-dik, a Bactrian camel, and last but not least, 2 baby white rhinos in August, marking their 11th in 11 years. They've also opened a brand new home for their Asiatic lions, providing a lot more space and facilities to fit their specific needs. At Howlett's, their honey badger was sent back to the wild in Europe's first honey badger rewilding project. Their sister site, Port Lim, has had some arrivals, starting with a male lion from West Midlands, then a giraffe from Dublin Zoo, and finally a male Andean bear to join the female already there. West Midlands Safari Park still have plenty of lions and have opened a new area called Lion Ridge, where you can see lions on foot for the first time in their history. They've also had the birth of a red panda, a first for the zoo, and a Smarchen tiger cub, another first for the zoo. Finally, they've welcomed a new male African elephant to keep the existing female company since Sutton left her earlier this year. They're hoping the pair will successfully breed and support African elephant conservation. That's all. Bye.